I'll save the story for yesterday. I know the seasons. Hey everybody, what's up, and welcome to your reading for the full moon in Leo, happening on the 25th of January in the Northern Hemisphere and the 26th of January in the Southern Hemisphere. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kate. I run Starseed Awakening Co. I channel readings for the collective every 2 weeks, as well as offering private readings and soul mapping sessions for starseeds. I'm not going to spend too long on the collective energy surrounding this particular full moon. If you're curious about what's going on the whole, check out the video that I most recently posted called the 2024 Masculine Upgrade. That'll give you some good insight as to what's going on collectively. And always drop in the comments below how you're feeling and let me know what is resonating and what isn't. For this full moon in Leo, the focus is on the concept of the inner king. So inner sovereignty, inner lion, inner lioness, this deep pride and reverence in what you're doing, how you face the world, and what you embody day to day. The energy is still a little bit masculine feeling, but I also really want to stress that that's because nature is sleeping. So we're in January, it's still wintertime in the Northern Hemisphere, and so the yin and the feminine is resting and recuperating and doing the magic that she does while all things are at rest and creating the inertia that we need to be able to push forwards in the spring. And so if your body is feeling particularly tired and you just feel like you can't quite get ahead, or you feel like you just don't have the energy that you usually do, it's probably because your body is more deeply in tune with the natural cycles and you're being asked to rest for a little bit longer. Now, on the flip side, the energy of the full moon is really this like open, expressive, loving, like Venus and Leo are really closely tied, loving energy and this desire to express and really like leap into your power. So I'm gonna get to the leap into your power. So without further ado, let's start flipping some cards and get to the reading. Lots of movement happening in early 2024. There is a great article or a video by Laura Warren Medium on YouTube as well, who talks about the energy of 2024. And we are basically in this like go, go, go from the very beginning. And so that can be a bit of a juxtaposition when we feel like we need to be resting, but a lot of the energy is saying to move. So just keep that in mind and be okay with the fact that sometimes there are two opposing things happening at once. Okay, again, I mean, we still have a lot of masculine energy coming up in this reading. And if you're lost and you're not sure what I mean by all this masculine energy that I'm talking about, check out my article on medium.com. I'll post it right here. Or check out the video, the 2024 Masculine Upgrade. The reason I'm focusing, or the cards are focusing so much on the masculine right now, is that the sacred masculine is having this huge awakening and huge shift to be able to hold the container of space to support the feminine as she rises as well. And just a note, when I'm talking about masculine and feminine energies, I'm never talking about gender. I'm always talking about core energies. And if you are somebody who has a body that inhabits both, then you inhabit both core energies. It has nothing to do with what you look like. It just has to do with how you feel or what you resonate with. And so the masculine right now is going through this huge upgrade, and it's showing up in the cards as well, being so present. And for the full moon in Leo, we've got three main themes here. One has to do with your inner sovereignty, and we've got the Knight right here. And what I mean by inner sovereignty in this full moon is knowing with integrity what your morals and values are, what you stand for, what you won't put up with, what you're okay to let slide, and also at the end of the day, what your general likes and dislikes are. I talked about this in the 2024 reading, that we have to make structure for ourselves moving forwards, for our own passions, our own projects, because all of these doors of opportunity are opening for us in 2024. But if we get distracted by what someone else is doing, or how someone else is doing it, or the pace that someone else is doing it, then we really get off of our own track. And so the night this full moon asks us to stand strong in what we believe in, what our morals are, what our values are, and to really lead the way in that process. Because when you stand up for yourself, or when you stand in place for yourself, you are showing others that it's okay for them to do that as well. There's a need in relationship. We've got the warrior card right here. There's a need in relationship this month to be okay with the heaviness that is presenting itself around you. And for a lot of you, this is going to be the most common situation. This is going to manifest as trying to change somebody that doesn't want to be changed, or trying to show up for somebody and they don't really appreciate it, or putting in all this effort and all this grunt work and it not really feeling like it's coming to fruition for you. It's okay to be in the thick of it, or in the weeds a little bit when it comes to relationships sometimes. And the key here is knowing when to stop. There's a bit of a split happening, and I feel like I've been saying this for the past 2 years, but there's an energetic split, and there are people who are getting into the right alignment, and there are people who are just going to keep struggling and keep struggling and keep struggling as they are out of alignment and they're living that day to day. And it's not your job, even though you are a warrior, it's not your job to pull that person out of the weeds and bring them along with you. It's your job to be able to support them as they need, or be a listening ear, or be a loving friend, but be conscious of the generosity of the energy that you're giving when that person cries out for help. Because at the end of the day, full moon in Leo asks us to know when to set things down and to let things lie. The last theme that came up on the masculine side of cards for the full moon in Leo is the Hunter card. And the caption underneath this one says, track down your fears and desires. And for a lot of you, this is about career. This is about opportunity. This is about saying yes to risks that you might not have said yes to before. We just entered Aquarius season, so happy birthday to all my favorite Aquarians out there. But Aquarius energy does not get stuck in any type of corner. They don't even know what corners are. And so when there's a little bit of light, when there's a crack in the ceiling and you can see a little bit of light, and you might be able to push your way through, and it feels like a risk and it feels like kind of crazy, then go for it. We're really being asked, and to apply this in a softer sense and apply this in a more feminine sense, this also comes with just the way that you think, or the way that you believe you deserve things, or the way that you believe things are possible. It can be like a soft, non-action based thing. When you change your thinking and you start to see the risk as an opportunity, and you start to move from inspiration instead of fear, more things will line up for you and come into place so that you can continue on the path that you're meant to be on. The universe genuinely wants you to be doing what you love and doing what you are called here on this earth to do. We all have a job. And so when it comes to career risks or risks in things that feel stable to you, wonder what it would be like. Just imagine what it would be like to go directly at that instead of trying to avoid it, and see what happens. Okay, other side of the cards here. So again, full moon in Leo. Leo is super heart-based. It's the only sign that really like lives entirely in their heart chakra, which is a lot of why they're so magnetic and people are always so drawn to them. You know, I've never met a quiet Leo that sort of just slips under the radar. And we got the protection guardian in reverse. And what we're being asked with this, for a lot of you, this might be across the board. It might be how you see yourself or how you act in a particular relationship. I know this card for me means much more than one thing, but can you allow yourself to receive the love that is coming at you? So many of us, we talk about nervous systems and fight or flight and all this pop psychology stuff, but we don't talk about the feeling that happens, the feeling that it takes to de-thaw and people hate that word, I know it's thaw, to thaw out and to unfreeze and to receive the love that's coming at us. So many of us aren't used to being cherished or noticed or supported, and so we kind of like get a little bit icky about it because we don't know how to receive it. And so when you're out with your friends, or you meet a stranger at the bar, or you get into a casual conversation with someone on the street, or you're trusting a partner, whatever it is, see how it feels to receive just a little bit more. Just open that vessel for receiving a little bit more. And again, I talk about this theme in my forecast for 2024. So if you haven't watched that video, I seriously recommend it, going back to check it out. But open ourselves. We want to go from the depth of a shower to the depth of a bath, to the depth of a lake, to the depth of an ocean. And most of us are just hanging out in the shower zone and wondering why we don't feel like we're getting a good soak. Okay, conflict that's happening in your life, particular conflict that's happening. This is the Eagle card in reverse. Although we often focus on zooming out when it comes to resolving conflict, what we're being asked for this new moon in Leo is to actually zoom a little bit further in. And what I mean by that is, instead of giving someone space and just like letting them go or like letting it figure itself out, have the conversation, have the tricky conversation. Be willing to pick at that thread just a little bit and be a little bit annoying and say, you know, what is going on? Why haven't we talked about this? What is going on underneath? Tell me more. I'd love to hear more about where you're coming from. Instead of often we just throw our hands up and we go, oh, they don't want to talk, or, you know, they don't want to deal with it. And we turn away from stuff. And so this full moon in Leo is asking us to go in a little bit deeper and to maybe circle back around to the conversation, or maybe zoom in terms of your analysis and get a little bit deeper. Oh, she said she didn't want to do that, but she looked away when she said it. And so, you know, maybe it's not so much about what she said, but it's how she was feeling in the moment. You know, I'm just using an abstract example here, but go a little bit further into the conflict instead of zooming out this time around, and see if you can uncover some information, at least so that maybe you can heal a little bit more. You know, we can't force our people to come with us or to heal along with us, but maybe by zooming in this full moon, it'll help you heal a little bit more. And the last card this is going to apply to a lot of you. And again, this also came up in the in the 2024 forecast that I just posted as well for the whole year. It's the Air Guardian card. And there is so much movement on the horizon, like so much. And so if you have been feeling restless, you feel like you need to kind of like get out of where you are, and you're feeling ready for that shift, or maybe you're afraid of the shift, but you can feel it coming, you can see it coming. Maybe you're a little bit wistful about the idea of travel or of changing location, changing scenery, however that manifests for you. Can you put yourself in a position to get ready to fly? What does that look like for you? Does that look like getting rid of clothes and stuff that feels like has become too heavy? Does it look like telling that one person the thing that you've been holding back from telling, and if you don't do it now, you're not going to see them anymore? Does it look like applying for jobs that are remote, or looking towards renting in a place that you've always imagined going, but you never actually thought you were going to do it? There's so much, like, this is an Air Guardian card. It's all about the leaves that get thrown up into the air. Like, that's how much movement we're coming towards. And so how can you prepare yourself to be ready to float on one of those leaves like a magic carpet, instead of panicking about the fact that you're now off the ground? So lean into that feeling, lean into what it might feel like to have things shift. And then I'm a Virgo, I'm your Virgo card reader, so I'm all about preparation. So lean into the shift and then prepare. And if I was embodying a true Leo, it would probably be more like lean into the shift and then get stoked with the fact that it's going to happen. So know and trust that that's coming for you on the horizon. Let's do one more card just for fun. Okay, the Traveler card is what I'm saying. There's just so much light for those of you who are feeling this happening. Like, this is not going to be the regular type of movement that that you're used to have happening. It's not going to be like, oh, I save up and then I go and I spend money. It's really going to be this gift. And so open your heart and your eyes and your mind to the opportunities that are coming as these months unfold with travel and change. So that is all I have for you folks today. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing or give the video a thumbs up. If you want to check out my writing, check me out at starseedawakening@medium.com. And if you want to book a private reading or a soul origin mapping session, check out the email in the description box below, kate@starseedawaken.com, and we can get in touch there. Until next time, happy full moon, blessings. Mwah!